listen, she's a beautiful young lady. And there's a lot of beautiful young ladies in the WNBA. But when you do that, you can't come down the line and complain about being objectified later on. It's not going to work with people. Whether it's right or wrong, it's not going to work. And when you do stuff like that and you're drawing attention to yourself because of that, that can be problematic for you.
Picture this.
Picture this, it's New Year's Eve, and Angel Reese posts a photo that's more look at me than game on. The internet explodes, but not in a good way. Stephen A. Smith goes off, and just like that, Reese's social media goes dark. But here's the
Here's the part that I like about the backlash. Clearly, it's something that a lot of people can't take. So if it's something that you can't take, maybe you shouldn't expose yourself to the backlash and provoking the backlash.
Was it worth it? From WNBA rebounding leader to Instagram exile, Reese's journey has turned into a cautionary tale for athletes everywhere. But don't worry, we're not just here to analyze the situation. Smith didn't hold back, calling out Reese for her attention-seeking behavior and comparing her to the ever-professional Caitlin Clark. You won't believe what he said about Reese's desperate cry for attention.
Especially when the comparison is going to be drawn to Caitlin Clark, who isn't doing such things. That might not be fair. I'm not saying it is. And you certainly have the right to dress how you want and to do what you want and to live your life. But people have a right to have their opinions about what you put on display. And if they don't like it and they believe that it's not the right thing for you to be doing when you talk about building your brand, I don't know how you can argue that, Tori.
And how it could affect her future in the WNBA. Are you ready? Let's go. The clock was ticking toward midnight, and there was Angel Reese in a jaw-dropping dress, ready to ring in 2025. But her fans? They weren't exactly thrilled with the show. Reese posted a video on Instagram, likely thinking she'd break the internet. Instead,
my daughters are fully aware. Daddy had better damn well not see an outfit like that on social media. Now, I ain't judging Angel Reese. Live your life. I'm talking about my daughters.
Right.
I promise you. I better not see that. Hey, they could be in college in LA, in Boston, or anywhere in between. Daddy would drop the mic, hop in the car, on the plane, or wherever. That ain't gonna happen. You said, I'm not having it. That's me.
It backfired big time. The backlash was swift and intense. We're talking comments that would make anyone cringe. Even her diehard fans were left questioning her choices. That's when you know you've really messed up. What got everyone so worked up? Picture this, Reese in a barely there dress, barely covering anything.
She deleted her Instagram, and that's the most important part about all of this, because clearly she's uncomfortable with some of the backlash that she's getting because she deleted her Instagram.
Posing and strutting in a way that made people do double takes. This was no ordinary New Year's outfit, it was designed to turn heads, and boy, did it ever. As the controversy heated up, Reese's social media went quiet. Then, just like that, her Instagram vanished. Poof. Gone. Let's be honest.
Let's call it what it is. I am not trying to say that she should be criticized or she is wrong. What I'm saying is, by pulling it down, clearly you felt there was something wrong with it.
Here, this isn't just about the dress. It's about a young athlete who might have just jeopardized her own image. Reese is 22, and in the sports world, that's old enough to know better. Now, everyone's wondering.
Yes, you are 22. Yes, you are young. And there's a lot of things that we didn't want people to know about when we were her age. Fair enough, especially me, okay? Because I'm 30 plus years removed from that age. I got that part. There was no social media then or whatever. But here's my point to you. She knows this social media. She is not dumb. She's quite a brilliant young lady. She's very smart, very accomplished. And on top of it all, she is in this age where she does know social media exists, and she has exploited it to her advantage. And so when you take that into consideration, that means you're mindful of the imagery and the perception that you're assisting in creating about yourself.
Wondering what's next for her. But before we can even catch our breath, Stephen A. Smith steps in with his take. Trust me, you're going to want to hear what he had to say about Reese's New Year's stunt. You know it's serious when Stephen A. Smith enters the conversation, and boy, did he have some strong words about Angel Reese's New Year's surprise. Smith didn't just comment, he went full disappointed dad mode on Reese. Let's break down his reaction, because it's a doozy. First off, Smith called out Reese for hypocrisy.
Here's what I have a problem with, Tori. Angel Reese, in doing the things that she has done, let's face reality. She's going to be attached to Caitlin Clark to some degree. If Angel Reese had never waved her hand in her face when LSU was beating Iowa for in the Final Four of the national championship, if that hadn't happened, Angel Reese's name might not be as big.
Faster than you can say double standard.
But what's not debatable is the fact that Caitlin Clark has handled her branding extremely well. Whereas with Angel Reese, sometimes you find yourself scratching your head and wondering what the hell she's doing. Like that photo right there.
He pointed out that you can't complain about being objectified later if you're flaunting yourself like this. Ouch. That's going to leave a mark. But wait, there's more. Smith wasn't going to let Reese off the hook so easily. Here's where it gets interesting. Smith decided to compare Reese.
You have to be cognizant that no matter how you step out of your house, you are now Angel Reese. And you will always be picked apart, unfortunately. It comes with the crown. You're a queen. You're beautiful. So you just have to remember that if you aren't ready for the scrutiny, if you're not ready for the heat, then you just got to be mindful that what comes with it. You have to be mindful with what comes with it.
To Caitlin Clark, holding her up as the shining example of how to handle your brand. Caitlin Clark, the one who's been dominating both on and off the court, without a hint of controversy, is the one Stephen A. Smith chooses to hold up as the example to follow. Smith didn't pull any punches when he made this comparison, calling it a slam dunk. Clark is out here building an empire, while Reese is, well, But here's the thing, Smith's criticism goes deeper than just a flashy Instagram post.
It might have been a right or wrong decision depending on what she feels or what other people feel. I'm just saying that what's inescapable is that even though she's not Caitlin Clark, she's going to be reminded she's not Caitlin Clark with every good thing that Caitlin Clark does, because that was her number one nemesis, in a lot of people's eyes, number one.
He's questioning Reese's priorities. Is she an athlete, or is she an influencer? Can she truly be both? It's like watching a high-stakes game of identity tug-of-war, and right now, Reese seems to be losing. Smith's guest on the show also chimed in, adding fuel to the fire. Their take? Reese is desperate for attention, any attention. It's like she's playing a game of Notice Me, while the rest of the sports world is trying to focus on actual games, not a social media circus. That's
number two. She was seen doing various interviews and what have you, talking about threats, talking about insults, crying about how people were coming at her with such venom and hostility, particularly in her last year at LSU, before she ultimately graduated to the pros. She brought up all of these things, which means she was aware of it. And if you're aware of it, you have to understand that that's going to be part of the judgment that comes against you, fair or unfair. That's what I'm saying, Tori.
It's not a great look, especially for someone trying to make it in the professional sports world. Now, here's where things get really real. Smith suggests this could have a long-term impact on Reese's WNBA career. Are teams watching? You bet your bottom dollar they are. Smith hit the nail on the head when he said that drawing attention to yourself in this manner can be problematic. Let's be real for a second. In the world of pro sports, your reputation...
Caitlin Clark, the reason I bring up Caitlin Clark is because they're attached at the hip with one another, which means they're ultimately going to be compared, Tori. And when you look at Caitlin Clark is balling. She's a rookie of the year. She was one of the finalists for the league MVP honors as a rookie, breaking all types of records. She should have been on Team USA. She didn't choose to play in an unrivaled league. Her brand building has been incredibly impressive.
It isn't just about what you do on the court. It's also about how you carry yourself off the court. And right now, Reese's off-court antics are overshadowing her actual game. Smith's takeaway is clear: Reese needs to make a decision about what she wants to be known for, her game or her Instagram game. It's a tough call, but one that she has to make quickly. In the fast-paced world of professional sports, yesterday's star can become today's cautionary tale quicker than you can say deleted account. So, what's next for Angel Reese?
Well, we have to remember one thing. She's not Caitlin Clark. And we can't ask her to be anyone else besides herself. And especially not right here. We're not going to do that. We want you to be you. We love seeing the great parts of your journey. But we also have to remember she's 22 years old.
Will she take Smith's advice to heart and refocus on her game? Or will she double down on her attention-seeking behavior? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, the ball is now in her court. Let's shift gears and talk about the shining example that Smith compared Reese to. If you're still with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We appreciate you for sticking.
We understand that everybody's got their own taste, their own flavor, and certainly their own rights. But there are other people that's going to exercise their rights to be ultra critical about it. And then I'm not even talking about the outfit that Angel Reese has worn. I'm talking about the overall pressure of having to be compared as a brand to somebody who's conducting their branding with near perfection. That's what I'm saying. She's gonna have to deal with that, Tori, whether she likes it or not.
Around. Now, while Reese is stirring up drama, Caitlin Clark is living her best life, and the contrast between the two is striking. Clark has been busy for all the right reasons. She recently gave a speech at a women's forum in Massachusetts, hung out with football greats Jason and Travis Kelce on their podcast, and won countless Athlete of the Year awards. Oh, and she's been hitting the gym multiple times with her new head coach, Stephanie White.
The bosses are always watching. Whether directly or indirectly, there's always eyes on you, okay? And so you could be in a nice dress, you could be on a red carpet, you could be on the beach on vacation or whatever. What you post is what they're paying attention to because they're trying to measure what your intentions are based off of what they see.
Clark isn't just talking big, she's making it happen. Meanwhile, Reese is dealing with social media drama, while Clark is out there making big moves. Talk about different priorities. The media is loving this story. It's like a sports movie come to life. Clark is being praised for her performance on the court and her behavior off it, while Reese's narrative is entirely different. Clark is building something real. She's got game, charm, and brains. While everyone's buzzing about Angel Reese's drama, Caitlin Clark is out here inspiring the next generation. She's showing young girls that it's possible to be both successful and respected in sports, without needing to rely on controversy. The way you handle fame really matters.
I don't want Adidas, I don't want Nike turning her down because they don't see her as someone that's marketable, because
neither do I.
You know, and that's the pain that I had for her in this, but I want her to know, if she's listening, we're excited to still see you. Bring back that beautiful Instagram page and just learn from it.
Matters in this industry, and Clark is showing the world how it's done. You don't need scandal or drama to stay relevant, just talent, hard work, and a level head. The difference between Clark and Reese couldn't be clearer. Clark is all about basketball, while Reese is making headlines for reasons that don't always involve her skills on the court. At the end of the day, handling pressure, fame, and responsibility is what separates the true stars from the rest. Clark is proving that it's possible to be a star without the drama. And
your kids right now are also not able to see 40 years from now. You know, you post that photo, you're not thinking, what's this gonna do to me 40 years from now? You know, think about that. You know, when you post this, what's gonna happen to my sponsorship? And my last thing is, if you're a young member of society today and you have social media and you are big time, just remember that you need to have advisors around you. Paid advisors, as well as people who knew you before your fame.
That's great advice.
That's
great advice.
That kind of success is the one that lasts. Let's talk about the price of fame, though. Is all this attention seeking really worth it for Angel Reese? Let's break it down. First up, cold, hard cash. Sure, scandalous posts might rack up likes faster than a scoreboard in overtime, but do they actually pay the bills? Well, turns out they kind of do, at least they did before this whole mess. Reese was sitting pretty with endorsement deals from major companies like Reebok, Beats by Dre, and Amazon, raking in an estimated $1.8 million in value. Not too shabby for a 22-year-old, right? But here's the catch, those lucrative parts.
And the people right now who are going through this, who are facing these moments, who are thrust into the spotlight, take a look at your advisors around you. Do they have your best interest? And if you do get pushed back in this way, ask yourself, who were the people around me during that time? And what do they say about this? And keep that in mind, because your reputation, at the end of the day, you have the power over that.
Partnerships are now hanging by a thread. Brands don't exactly love being associated with controversy, and Reese might have just fumbled the bag. Now, she's scrambling to recover. What's wild is that Reese had a massive 5 million followers on Instagram before she went dark. That's a huge audience, and a lot of potential influence, now gone in the blink of an eye. But there's more. Let's talk about the long-term effects. Will WNBA teams think twice next time Reese's contract is up for renewal? That's the million-dollar question. Think about Kyrie Irving. His social media antics cost him big time in endorsements. Could Reese be walking down the same path? It's a gamble that could bench her career faster than a coach's bad call. In the high-stakes world of pro sports, making the wrong move can come with serious consequences. Now let's get real for a second. Reese is only 22. Are we being too harsh or not harsh enough? Some fans are concerned that she might not have the